Hey everyone, Ryan from Ebike Escape, and today we're checking out the Specialized Turbo Vado 5.0, a mid-drive electric bike with premium bike components. So let's get into this review. Okay, let's get into the walk around. This is the Turbo Vado 5.0 step through, so you can see that the bar comes pretty low here. Some companies would call this a mid step, and certainly there are some step through models that don't have a top tube bar. I did measure from the ground up to this point here. It's about 22.5 inches, but realistically you're looking at between 26 and 28 inches right around in this area for getting your foot over. Still plenty accessible. So I've been riding this bike now for the last 7 weeks, and I feel like Specialized designed a bike that is pretty much taking something that they would perhaps sell in a non-electric version and just made it electric. I think people who are already familiar with biking, they might appreciate some of the components on this bike because it is a premium electric bike. That's not to say someone new isn't going to appreciate some of the nice features on this electric bike, but I kind of view this bike as an e-bike for people who are already bikers, and hopefully you'll kind of get that sense as I'm walking through some of the components here. Okay, so let's start in the front here. We have 180 millimeter disc rotors, and then we have Dior XT hydraulic disc brakes, 2 piston brakes, plenty of stopping power. And then we have these Trigger 700 by 47C sport tires. And I really have been enjoying these tires, kind of a hybrid tire. I've been able to take these off-road a little bit and been fine. Of course, been doing plenty of riding on the road as well. One other thing to call out about these tires is it does come with reflective sidewalls. That's something that I really like to see on electric bikes because of the additional visibility at night. And then you have these super sturdy fenders. They have some reflective tape here and they go all the way down to the back of the tire here. And then you have this Supernova light. I actually really like this light. Offers daylight visibility, which can't be said about many electric bikes on the market today. And then you have this Suntour NCX E25 suspension. Again, I've really been enjoying taking this off-road. That's one of the reasons that I wanted to review one of the Specialized electric bikes that had front suspension, is because I knew it was going to add some comfort. And it does have a through axle, so no quick release here. And you can see the attachment points here for these fenders. You can adjust them so you can get it perfect, so there's no rubbing with that front wheel. As far as cable management goes, all the cables come down here and they enter the frame here towards the front of the head tube. And these are pretty much the only cables that are visible on the electric bike. You'll see that as I continue to go through it. Let's move on to the cockpit. You'll note that I added the Night Eyes Raptor. This is my favorite cell phone holder. And we also added half-knee mirrors. I find that it's really important to be able to see behind you, especially when you're riding in areas that you're not familiar with. The bike comes with these really nice Specialized branded locking grips. Really like these quite a bit. And to go along with the Dior XT hydraulic disc brakes, it also comes with Dior XT levers. And these are some of the highest quality components that you can get from Shimano. Again, that plays into the more premium price of this electric bike. It does include a bell. And as far as the shifter goes, they are using this Shimano SLX trigger shifter, 11 speed. Again, let's go ahead and power this bike on. So here on the left, you have controls to change your pedal assist. So you can see there I am in the second pedal assist. So you can go to no assist, pedal assist 1, 2, and 3. And then you also have a button here, which is your light. I talked about that Supernova light and how it is visible during the day. And then you also have this button at the top that says set, and that cycles through the information that can be displayed on your screen. So right now we're showing max speed and total distance, average speed and timer, power output, current miles per hour, and your odometer. And it does have a clock as well. And here on the bottom left, this is going to be your battery capacity. So currently I'm down 1 bar. And the screen also has buttons to cycle through the information. One of the things that I hope Specialized improves on at some point is including a display that looks a little bit nicer. Of course, this provides all the information that you need, but you can see it's a little pixelated, and there are color LCDs on many electric bikes on the market today. Okay, moving on to the battery, where you actually turn the bike on. This power button here, battery is very nicely integrated into this frame. You have bottle cage bosses there, and this is a cover for your charger, so you can charge it while it's on or off the bike if you choose. And it is lockable as well. And if you're curious, this is a medium-sized frame that I've been testing out. Okay, let's talk about these pedals just briefly. These are basically flat pedals with some grip tape. I would personally switch them out, but of course, personal preference there. And Specialized has mounted the kickstand towards the rear. And I talked a little bit about the cable management. You can see that the cable for the rear hydraulic disc brake comes out of the frame here. So again, really hiding those cables. And in fact, when we get to the rear light, there's actually a cable that runs along the fender for the rear light. Okay, let's move on to the rear derailleur. Again, they have opted for Dior XT. Again, a very high-end component offered by Shimano. If you've used some of the lower-end stuff, you'll definitely notice a difference going to something like this. And then we have 11 speeds here in the back, which of course is really nice when you have a mid-drive electric bike because you can take advantage of all those different gears. And again, with the cable management, the cable for the rear derailleur comes out right here from the frame. So it's a really sleek looking electric bike. And then as I mentioned, we have this rear supernova light integrated into the fender. Really like that. Offers some visibility from behind. And then we have this rear rack that Specialized includes, has a max capacity of 20 kilograms. And it really looks sleek in my opinion. It attaches by the frame down here and then also has 2 attachment points on the fender, one here and one here. Again, along with the fender, feels plenty sturdy. One thing to keep in mind with this rack is because it just comes down to the frame here, you don't have any protection if you were to hang bags here, so you just want to be extra careful. And the Turbo Vado 5.0 is using the Specialized 1.3 motor, 250 watts nominal. As far as branding goes, it says Vado here and Specialized on the other side. Of course, they have the Specialized logo on the fenders, and they have Turbo written on the inside of the seat stay. And the bike comes with this Specialized Aloya. Not sure if I'm saying that correctly. If you're looking for something that provides additional comfort, you might want to consider adding a suspension seat post. That's what I've been using down here, but I wanted to put the stock seat on so you could see it. Of course, that's something you can always upgrade if you're looking for additional comfort. All right, with that, let's get into some of the riding footage so I can share some of my additional thoughts on the Specialized Turbo Vado 5.0. All right, so we got a nice straightaway here, so I thought I'd do some first-person riding. This bike should get me up to 28 miles per hour. I have the screen set to show miles per hour at the top in case you can see that. And then on my cell phone screen, I am displaying my current speed. This is the speedometer app by Coolnix. Really like that, especially for filming. You can see the numbers nice and large. All right, we got 3 modes of pedal assist. I'm almost at full battery power here on the bottom left. And I'm in a pretty high gear, so maybe I'll start a little bit slower, shift down a little bit, and pedal assist 1. Just pedaling nice and easy, 9 miles an hour. All right, so let's increase the pedal assist. One of the nice things is just how smooth the power assist is on this. Definitely not jerky like some other electric bikes. Of course, this is a more premium electric bike and experience for sure. All right, so now let's go into the third pedal assist. I'm going to shift up to that highest gear here, and let's see how fast we can go. All right, 327 watts, 26 miles an hour. I'm pushing pretty hard. 27.8, 28 miles an hour. So just over 28 miles per hour, and I was working pretty hard. All right, let's go a little bit of a smaller gear. Still in the highest pedal assist level. Pedaling pretty easy, going 16 miles an hour. I think if I went lower here, I'd just be spinning the pedals a little bit more. And typically when I ride electric bikes, I mean with some of those 6-7 speeds, I usually keep it in the highest gear. And if I need a little throttle, I'll use that to get started. So I'd say if I'm just cruising on flat ground, I like to be in still a high gear. And then of course the nice torque sensor as I pedal harder. The motor will give me a little bit more, and I can get up to that 20 miles an hour fairly easy. All right, now I'm gonna try to I'll go in pedal assist 1, same gear. About 14 miles an hour. And if I increase that, you can feel the motor kicking a little bit more. 16, 17 miles an hour. And that's still, I believe, third to the last highest gear. Okay, let's do one more speed run here. Okay, so that time we got it up to 29 miles per hour, maybe due to the wind since I turned around. Okay, with that, let's get into some of my concluding thoughts about the Specialized Turbo Vado 5.0. I've mentioned this many times so far, but the Vado 5.0 is undoubtedly a premium electric bike. It will set you back $4,600, and in return you can expect a pretty epic electric bike. The 5.0 is the top of the line model in the Vado series, which all sport front suspension. But their base model Vado 3.0 comes in at a much more affordable $3,250. And one of the huge benefits of Specialized electric bikes is being able to check out these electric bikes for yourself at a bike shop near you, plus ongoing support should any troubles arise. Though if you're watching this in 2021, inventory is likely still an issue in the overall bike space, so these may or may not be available. And when I mentioned the experience of being a regular bike only electrified, this is exactly the aim of Specialized. It's their core mission. So that means this bike doesn't have a throttle, but it also isn't aimed at people who would want a throttle. The Turbo e-bike motto is, "It's you, only faster," and I think that sums it up pretty nicely. Want even more proof of the focus? The bike shows the rider wattage output on the LCD display as opposed to the wattage going to the motor. The Turbo Vado lineup is advertised as 4 times U or 4XU. The bike is well thought out and looks pretty incredible with the integrated battery, hidden cabling throughout, and the futuristic looking rear rack. The 600 watt-hour battery is pretty typical capacity for many bikes these days. The specialized turbo range calculator available online said it would be good for about 51 miles of range going 20 miles per hour in eco mode, at least for someone my size. This drops to about 28 miles in turbo mode or the highest level of assist. It's cool to get an idea of range, so definitely check out the turbo range calculator if you're interested. In our experience riding the Turbo Vado over the last 7 weeks, it was definitely more efficient than other electric bikes we had on our trip. Part of this is the weight of the bike at about 49 pounds, the fact that it uses a torque sensor and encourages you to pedal harder to go faster, and of course the efficient motor on the bike. Speaking of the motor, Specialized partners with the German company Brose on their motor development. The Specialized Turbo Vado 5.0 comes with a 1.3 motor with RX Street Tune, which means it's optimized for urban riding. The motor is 250 watts nominal, 550 watts peak with 90 Newton meters of torque. And I have to say I've been a bit spoiled riding the Brose both with this electric bike and the Serial 1 bikes from Harley Davidson I tried out. They are extraordinarily quiet, and I find that the Vado gives me the perfect amount of assist. But what's unique about Specialized is the Mission Control app. You can customize the motor to your liking, and that's also where you can see the current wattage from the motor. That pretty much sums it up. The hydraulic brakes felt great, the shifting is smooth, everything on this bike just makes for an awesome riding experience. If you want a no compromises urban workhorse that feels more like a regular bike, only electrified, then the Vado is worth checking out. If I had free reign to select a Specialized e-bike for myself, I'd definitely be picking out one from the Turbo Vado lineup simply for the addition of the front suspension. Plus it's already set up for errands, which is one of the use cases for our family. I'll have a link to the Specialized Turbo Vado 5.0 in the description. If you like this video, please consider subscribing, which helps me review a wider variety of electric bikes, such as this one. Huge shout out to the Specialized team for making this review possible and letting us really put this bike to the test while we are in Florida. It was a real treat. More resources also in the description, and check out ebikeescape.com as well as eBike Escape on social media if you can't get enough e-bikes. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.